Welcome to the News and View Show with the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. Today we have another edition of Meet the Board, and our guest is going to be Chad Blakley with WorkForce Unlimited.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm Diane Sawyer, the president of the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce, and I work so much for this really great board that we have, and Chad is one of our newer members, and we are so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you. So happy to be here with you. Thank you for letting me join the board.
Yeah, so we are just really excited about 2023.
Yes.
And we are excited about, I think this will be the year that all of the events are finally back and where they belong.
Yes.
But 2023 has a lot going on. And as you can hear, we have the Streetscape project going on. And so you will hear that as we continue through our video. If you're wondering what the saws and the construction noise are, they are right outside our door working on the brickwork. So
looks great.
It does look great. We have been able to watch, we have a front row seat, and I watch them go back over it, and they put all the grit in between the bricks and sweep over it, and it's just really cool. Like, I kind of geeked out a little bit on the construction process. So
it's exciting.
But welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. You are a busy man.
Wow, it's busy. Yes, 2022 was busy. I think this year's we're setting ourselves up to be even busier.
Well, let's talk about that. So we're post-pandemic at this point. I mean, it's here. COVID's here to stay, but with the flu and RSV and all the other things.
Yep.
But we have seen the landscape change so much in WorkForce.
Totally.
And I love that as a staffing agency. I love your name. I love what your agency, your mission and how you go about things, but it's changed. And
it is. And our mission is to change people's lives. I mean, that's what our mission is. And we do that through employment. We literally help folks put food on their own tables. And but you're right, from 2019 to 2020, what a big difference. And then for the last really almost 3 years now, we've kind of been dealing with this total change in the workforce environment. Even people expect different things out of their employers, and we've had to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Right?
It blows my mind to think about, as the chamber, and we talk about workforce development a lot and how we can help, how radically different the landscape is, and what people, I think everybody just sat back and took a year off of life and said, wait, is that really how I want to be doing things for the rest of my life? Totally. And what do I expect?
Yep, exactly.
Out of my kids' activities, out of my partner, out of my job, out of my career. Some people said, this is just a job. I want to go get a career.
Yep.
Some people said, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I want to find something that I'm passionate about. And
exactly.
People ask this question a lot, like, where are all the people? And I don't know that I can answer that. Do you feel like, I've said it's because people have made changes, and because we didn't realize, there's a lot of negativity around, people just don't want to work. And it's really not the case.
It's not. You're so right. I mean, during the Great Resignation, as they called it.
Oh, there you go, pulling out the term.
That's right. So people, I think COVID brought a reality check to everybody and what's important in their lives, and that's their families, their homes, their children, and I think they just changed priorities. So folks higher level folks, executive folks, said, I'm going to make a change. Now, whether that's to work remotely, whether that's for more income, whether that's for a more positive work environment.
Or to just not be doing the rat race anymore.
Or not to be doing absolutely. So, and there are a lot of options available, to your point, but I think most people do want to work.
Yeah.
I think they just need somebody like us to help them guide them to the right position that's a right fit for them. Are they an entry level level person. We have many entry level positions for folks who are right out of high school who want to go into the workforce. We have folks maybe who have retired and want to come back to the workforce. So we have some of those. We have jobs that are flexible, work from home opportunities that have become really popular.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
I'll tell anybody, I love what I do. I could not do my job full-time work from home in this space, but I did during COVID, and my house was clean and I had plants on the porch and I cooked dinner and all the things, but I thrive on people. And so I have to be here and with my people at least, as much as I can be. And I have to be here in the community because that's, a part of what my job is. But flexibility is huge, and family-friendly environments are huge.
Absolutely.
I think, though, let's start with this. People, you made the statement, people like us. Mm-hmm. I don't think people understand what staffing agencies, what WorkForce Unlimited, I don't think they understand the process and how it works. And it's very interesting to me because I have people approach me all the time and they say, Diane, I'm looking for a new job. I'm looking for a change. And the first thing that I say to them is your resume up to date? Yes. Okay. Have you sent it to the staffing agencies? No. Well, why not? Well, and it's always these crazy responses. And I'm like, I was hired at the chamber as a direct hire through a staffing agency.
Absolutely.
Because the staffing agency found me. Like, there's so much more to it than just a temporary job. And that's what people think of when they think of staffing agency. So tell us, how has that morphed over the years? What does it mean? We joked about, right before the beginning, about people saying that you take money out of people's paychecks. Explain the whole process and how it works, because I think that's really important.
So, thank you, Diane. Absolutely. So you're right. The landscape has totally changed. So how staffing agencies work, and I know you're well aware of this. So we match talent with an employer's needs. So most of our jobs, interestingly, are not temporary at all. These are full-time opportunities. So they come in through our service and through our recruitment efforts, and we interview candidates to find out, are you the right fit for the client? Does your goals line up with the client's goals? If not, we're not going to place you at that because you're not going to be happy. We want you to be happy. We want you to be able to fulfill the needs of your family and your household. But we never take any money from anybody. So companies contract with us to provide their labor. So what does that mean for us? That means we're out in the communities. That means we're hosting hiring events. That means people come into our offices and we recruit them. We are an extension of the human resources departments of our clients. So if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so important for people to see you as that, a resource.
Absolutely.
There's nothing negative about having a resource like that in your arsenal.
Nothing negative. We love it when we get a fresh, clean resume. Your resume tells your story. It says, here's who I am as an individual. Now, help me find a fit for my skills. And some people find that difficult on their own. It's challenging. That's why we're here. So you bring that resume into us, let us take a look at it, let us provide some suggestions for edits to your resume. Maybe your resume's too lengthy, maybe it's too short. It's a picture of you, but there are certain things you need to point out on your resume to land that perfect job.
Absolutely. And so do you provide resume services? How does that work?
Absolutely. We do internally. Typically, you would call and schedule an appointment with us for us to do a resume review with you. And so we would review your resume, provide tips to you. Of course, as you know, Rockingham Community College also provides those wonderful resources as well, and there are others. But absolutely we do. And, or do you want to come in as an entry-level position and work your way up? We had a wonderful success story of a client here in Reidsville who an employee came in with us as a temporary packer, And fast forward 3 years later, and they're a supervisor at the client. So it's not just, again, the portion of temporary positions that we have is very small. Most of these are full-time opportunities. If you think about your time with us, it's a working interview.
It is. And explain how that benefits, because I want to hear it a little bit deeper on the employee side, but for your clients and for the businesses that may be listening who don't understand how a staffing agency works, you can explain that piece of it.
Totally. So from the employee perspective, I'll start with them first. From the employee perspective, it gives them an opportunity to go in and say, is this the right fit for me? So we give them as much information as we can up front. You know, I think of one of our great clients, Dorada Foods. So it's cold in there. It's very cold, okay? They're processing chicken, so it's wet in there from time to time. So we're cleaning out these machines. So we have to make sure they understand the elements before we place them out there. But then it gives them an opportunity to say, yeah, this is gonna be a great fit for me, or you know what? This isn't a great fit for me. And that's okay. It's okay if it's not a great fit. We have other opportunities. We like to figure that out before we make the placement though, because our clients, getting to the client needs, so they want somebody who's willing to work and wants to be there. You know, pay is very important. It absolutely is, but so is culture.
Absolutely.
The culture of your company and how you make your employees feel welcome is really going to be key. And so what we do is partner with our companies to say, what's important to you in an employee?
Absolutely.
What are you looking for? What are your challenges? What are your barriers? We don't want to just be a supplier. We want to be a trusted partner. Right?
Absolutely.
So are you looking for a needle in a haystack, or are you looking for somebody who's willing to learn and can grow right out of high school? So we have clients who cover the full spectrum.
I think that it's so important for people to understand the whole piece of it. And it's funny to me how outdated people's perspectives are of staffing and workforce. And I just I don't think that the general population before COVID understood. So as radically different as it is afterward, it's even harder for them to understand.
It is. People people have this misconception that when you go into a staffing agency, you're paying to get a job. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case at all. I had a very interesting post that Roy shared for me and on the Rockingham update. So excited about that post. Got a lot of traction, got a lot of people to work. I think we have 24 people coming to work before next Tuesday. So it definitely worked. But we had a lot of people who were confused and who were making some pretty negative comments about our staffing agency and do we take money out of their pockets, and that's certainly not the case. I want our employees to have every penny that's due to them. We would never take any money.
Yeah, people need to understand that the client pays you.
The client pays us for providing the service, the recruitment service.
Because you're an extension of the HR department.
Absolutely.
It just kind of blows my mind. Well, let's, and we can talk more, but and as part of the Meet the Board series, we talk as much as you want to personally. So if whatever you'd like to share about who you are, like how you came to work with WorkForce Unlimited, anything that you want to share with us just about who Chad is.
So I started out my career very early, 15 years old. I was a volunteer for the Richmond County Rescue Squad in Rockingham, the city, North Carolina, and became a paramedic, and I was regional director of EMS for a hospital in Pinehurst. And in 2015, I just, I needed a change. So I found staffing, fell in love right away. been with WorkForce Unlimited. I never thought, I didn't even know there was an agency here. I worked for an agency out of Greensboro, and I had no idea there was a staffing agency here. And I got a call from one of our internal headhunters at AREVO Group, which is our parent company. And they were asking if I was interested in a job as a staffing manager in Reidsville. And I said, that's perfect, but when are you going to build it? And they're like, it's there on Freeway Drive. I'm like, no way. So I didn't even know, and I had lived here for years. So been with the company this past October was 4 years. And I cannot imagine being anywhere else. We're been in business for 35 years. This is our 35th year. And 2022 was our 35th year, and we're a woman-owned business out of Mount Airy. It's an amazing story. Teresa Lewis, amazing human being. She built this company from just herself to the large entity that we are today, and I'm just so happy. I just had a conversation this morning, Diane, with somebody. I love coming to work. I love coming to work every day.
Isn't it the greatest feeling? When you love your job and you have zero issue about getting in your car and driving to work. I mean, with no dread, no just, I don't want to do this. I mean, just, I love what I do.
Absolutely. You and I are very much alike. I love seeing people. I love the community. I love getting out. I love helping others, leading people to the right resources. So it's just, it's fun to me. It doesn't feel like a job at times. So that's the part I enjoy about it. And I love collaborating with, our clients. I mentioned Dorada. I mentioned Allbod's a great client for us, Gildan, many others in the community that we partner with to how can we address their employment concerns. They all need people. People are at a premium. So how can we help them? Is it a cultural thing? Is it a pay thing? Is it, flexibility with the scheduling? Is it break period? There are a lot of things that are important to employees. So our recruiters are finding out what's important to the employee, and our managers and myself as the associate vice president, we're finding out what's important for the client. Mm-hmm. And we put those together.
Absolutely.
And it's so fun.
It's such a cool thing that you do. Well, let's talk a little bit about the chamber and coming to so as things progress, a lot of times with board members, the way that it happens is that they are a member or maybe a chamber champion or a volunteer, an ambassador, and they have found their way into being an integral part of our programs and our events. And so that's kind of how the ask happens is, hey, you've already kind of got a vested interest. Tell us what you think, your role, what are you looking forward to as far as contributing and being a part of the chamber as a board member and how that's different from like previous?
So first off, if you're not a chamber champ, you're missing out. Okay, that's the first thing. This chamber has done so much for the city of Reidsville and for the community, and it feels amazing. I loved coming to my first meeting. We were members, but I wasn't an ambassador. I was a member, and I'm like, wow, these people care about the community. They want to see growth in the community. You and your team are fully vested. And I saw that right away, and I said, I want to be a part of that. So started doing some events, then we did the ambassador events. We started hosting the employee appreciation luncheon, which we will always do. Because what way better to give back to our employees,
That's
right? And so now it's transitioning to a higher level. How can I support the board initiatives, the chamber initiative from that higher level, and bring in additional ambassadors to spread the word about the wonderful things that the chamber does. Well, so super excited for it.
I'm super excited to have you. It just makes me happy. Things cycle. This summer's 12 years for me, and it's crazy because I still love coming to work.
That's
I do,
right.
And it doesn't feel like a job. Well, I appreciate that. But the chamber is like solely based on relationships.
It is.
I mean, without our relationships, we have nothing. And, you know, we have tenants in our building. We have a visitor center and the relationship with the community and the community members. We have our board. We have our ambassadors. We have our chamber champions. We have our members. We're about 430 businesses strong, and individuals. I mean, we have individuals who are members of the chamber. And at the end of the day, like, these people become our friends and our confidants, our mentors. And I was just saying to someone previously, and the city manager and I did a show and we were talking about, at the end of the day, like, my bottom line is whatever your bottom line is. It's whatever my members and my board members and my chamber and the community, like, anything that is going to make this community a better place to live, to eat, to work, right?
That's exactly right.
To do business, to shop, like, whatever it is you're trying to do, to visit, to you know. And so, like, we talk about all these things and these quality of life things, and, like, they matter to you because they matter to your clients and they matter to your folks that you're trying to employ with your clients.
Exactly.
Because if we don't have places for people to do all those things, if we're not a good family oriented, if we're not a good fit for people, if the environment is not a good fit, because, you know, people need certain things. Like, we've got this all-inclusive park coming. That's going to fit a need, like, for people to be able to get out and to take children or to take, you know, their families that they weren't able to do that before. That could make the difference between an executive coming, you know, to be a part of something because we have things that they need for their families. Or it could matter to keeping somebody here and keeping them employed, even at an entry level position, because we have resources and we have things here that don't affect their ability to be able to work an entry level position to move up to a supervisor level. There's just so many things that matter.
There are. And I think for me, what's so important about the chamber is it's not a chore to come to the chamber. It's genuineness. You all are so genuine here at the chamber, and I try to contribute the same back. So it's truly caring about the community, truly engaging with the community. How can we grow and learn and support each other? And that's what I think is so unique about the Reidsville Chamber. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I know, do you want to share anything else about Chad and who Chad is? I know you have a beautiful niece. You post about her a lot.
Oh my gosh. So I do have two beautiful nieces, absolutely. Lydia and Piper, they are my hearts. Both in college now, doing very well. I know, it's so hard to believe. They grew up so quickly. Lydia's 21, Piper's almost 19. I don't know where the years went. But yeah, they are basically my children. My other child is Seamus Matthew, my little Scottish Terrier. But yeah, and I have a place here in Reidsville, live right behind the high school, and I love to call Reidsville home.
Yeah, well,
this is my house,
we are so thankful for you,
thank you.
And thankful for all of your just ability to bring light into a room too. Like, you just have that too. Like, when you walk in, like, everything changes. Like, it's just like fun and it's lighthearted, but it's genuine. Like, you use that word, and we talk about, I'm going to give some tribute to Steve Scott here. We talk about humanness. That's a big tri-state steel thing, and he spreads that everywhere he goes. He's doing it with the Bryan School of Business at UNCG. He does it here at the chamber, and you have that. You have that quality, that humanness that he talks about, and that ability to connect with people, and that ability to spread that, because at the end of the day, like, that's all we have is each other.
Each other.
And when we leave this world, we're not taking anything else with us. And so I think how we treat people, and, you know, one of my staff, they keep that quote in there, talking about, like, people are not going to remember anything basically but how you treated them, how you made them feel.
How you made them feel.
How you made them feel. I forget what the quote is. and it might be a Maya Angelou, but it's a quote about people are going to remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely. And it's a conscious decision that I make every day. When I get up, I'm going to be in a good mood. So I'm the same way all the time. If you catch me at 6:30 in the morning watching before Good Morning America comes on with my coffee, or if you catch me at 5:45 in the evening, I'm the same me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to you where you did not have a smile on your face and you were not just excited about whatever was happening.
Got that from my sweet mother.
Well, and even in the throes of COVID, I remember seeing you on the screen and it was like chaos. And even chaos in your office, but you were still just like happy Chad, like everything was good.
That was a rough time though. I got to tell you, when we had the first event, chamber event, when we finally went back in person, oh my goodness. Yeah, everybody got a hug. I was just like, I couldn't deal.
It's hard.
It was hard. Yeah. I mean, Teams is great. Whatever else we use, Zoom, Google Meet, all these other, they were great, but nothing beats an in-person.
No,
for sure.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'm happy, there are a lot of committee meetings and things that can happen quickly via Zoom or Meet, but man, I'm telling you, 2023 board meetings are back fully in person, and I am so excited.
Me too.
There's nothing like sitting down with a meal.
Yes.
And discussing things over a meal with people that you genuinely care about, that you have the same goals and ideas, and that you just want to make a difference.
Exactly. You get that connection when you're in person that you don't get in Teams or Zoom or whatever. So that's the part I love about it. You get to have the sidebar conversations with Jesse or with whoever, and just catch up, or Debbie, and say, hey, how you been? Yeah,
and I think the sidebar conversations, as much as sometimes people, frown upon that, at the same time, it's what generates what really happens. Because when you're staring at the screen, and it is nothing that drives me crazier than to be on a screen with a bunch of people and I'm the only person showing my video and I'm the only person talking.
I know.
I'm like, I don't want to be the one talking.
No, exactly.
All the time. I mean, I know it sounds like it, but I really don't. I really like to listen and respond to what people are saying, not always be the person talking. So, well, I think that we have a lot of great things happening. I think that the stuff that you guys are doing is phenomenal. I know that we are talking about Miss Christie coming on board as an ambassador.
Oh, yes.
There's just some really cool things in the future.
So excited. Christy Oakes is our Senior Business Development Officer, and she lives in Danville. She's actually president of the Southside Virginia SHRM in Danville. She's coming on as an ambassador with the Reidsville Chamber. I'm so excited. She is so excited. 2023 is going to be an amazing year.
It really is.
It
really is. Well, we're short on time. Is there anything else that you want to add or that we haven't talked about or that you'd like to say?
Well, I would just like to, ask folks, if you're looking for an opportunity, my office in Reidsville, 1425 Freeway Drive, we're happy to see you. You don't have to have an appointment to come see us. We're Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If you can schedule an appointment, you get through a little bit faster, but you don't have to have one. But there are jobs open on all shifts, in Reidsville, in Eden, if you want to go to Danville, if you want to go to Greensboro, we can get you there. So jobs open everywhere. So come see us. Brittany is the manager there. She'd be happy to see you.
Yeah, Miss Brittany does a great job too.
She does.
We do. We love her. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to 2023.
All right. Thanks so much, Diane.
Thank you. All right, folks, that is it for today's episode of the News and Views Show with the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street. And you can find us online at www.reidsvillechamber.org and on all of our social media. We'll see you soon.